Okay, so you know how everyone kind of feels like Congress just isn't working right now?
Yeah.
Like, is it just me, or does it always seem like there's some sort of drama going on?
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely not alone in feeling that way.
Because when you look at the approval ratings for Congress,
Yeah.
they're in the low 20s.
Yeah, pretty consistently.
Consistently. Yeah, it's like rock bottom.
It is.
So we got to figure out why that is right. Like, we got to dive into this.
Absolutely.
What is going on?
Well, there's a pretty interesting perspective that we can look at today.
Yeah.
And it might give us some insights.
Okay.
So, Democratic Representative Jared Moskowitz,
Okay.
he was on Fox News Sunday recently.
Okay.
And he gave a very
I saw this.
unfiltered assessment
Yeah.
of the state of Congress.
Okay.
So it's worth examining.
For this deep dive, we're going to actually look directly at the transcript,
Yeah.
the YouTube transcript of that Fox News interview,
Right.
and unpack
Let's unpack it.
what he had to say and figure out why he thinks things are so messed up right now.
Exactly. So,
And I'll tell you, he doesn't hold back
no, he does not.
right out the gate.
Out of the gate, he says.
And I quote,
All 435 of us.
"We just suck at our jobs."
Wow.
I mean,
Straight up.
straight up brutal honesty. That's not your typical
Mm.
carefully crafted political statement.
Nope.
That's just
Yeah.
a guy who's frustrated.
Pure frustration.
Pure frustration.
Yeah. You don't see that.
And it's palpable even reading the transcript.
Right.
You can feel that,
Yeah.
that raw emotion.
Oh, no, I felt it.
And it really seems to mirror
When I read it, I was like, whoa.
the public sentiment.
Yeah.
I mean, those approval ratings we were just talking about,
Yeah.
they're consistently low.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you compare it to like the 1970s.
Oh, yeah.
When Congress often had approval ratings above 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
It's a different world. A different world.
Yeah.
Moskowitz even says
Yeah.
that the public kind of sees Congress like a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
You know, almost like Home Alone,
Yeah.
the movie.
Big Home Alone movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just running around doing whatever they want.
Chaos.
Yeah.
No adult supervision.
No rules.
And he even goes further with this image
Yeah.
of like boxing and fighting right there on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Like, imagine that.
I know.
Right in the middle of the House chamber.
It's just insane to think about.
Like, come on, guys.
You know,
You're supposed to be adults.
I mean, that's the image we're getting. Right?
That's the image.
And I think that,
And he's capturing the sentiment
well, a lot of people think.
that people are tired of this
Yeah.
this food fight
Food fight. Yeah.
all the time.
It's exhausting
It's exhausting.
to watch, to think about.
And this bleak
Blame
there.
game over every little thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's always like, who can we blame? Instead of,
How can we fix this?
like, he brings up the example of the airplane incident in D.C.,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which was a horrible, horrible tragedy.
Absolutely.
But instead of like a unified response,
yeah.
it immediately turned into finger pointing
Yeah.
and accusations.
It always does.
It always does. It's
And
like
it-
they're more interested in scoring political points
Yep.
than
Yeah.
actually addressing the problem.
Absolutely.
And I think that kind of leads into the next big issue he talks about, which
Yeah.
is the lack of legislative productivity.
Yeah. The fact that they're not actually getting anything done.
Exactly.
It's just all talk and no action.
And he gives this really telling statistic. He
Yeah.
says that the last Congress passed the fewest amount of bills
Oh, wow.
out of any Congress in U.S. history.
Wow.
I mean,
That's got to be a record.
it's like 20 to 22 bills
Wow.
in like 2023, 2024.
That's insane.
That's incredibly low.
Yeah.
And you can't ignore the consequences of that. I mean, Moskowitz points out that it's pushed us to the brink of 8 government shutdowns in 24 months.
8.
8.
In 2 years.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
Constant threat of everything just shutting down.
I mean, how are people supposed to like plan for anything?
No.
Or just like
It's so much uncertainty.
live their lives?
It's crazy.
It's so easy.
And if you think about it,
Yeah.
we have 50 states now,
You're-
435 representatives.
More than ever.
We're passing fewer laws than when we had 13 states.
What?
I know.
How is that even possible?
It really makes you question the whole system.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, something's broken.
Something's not working.
All right.
And what's really interesting is
Yeah.
this frustration isn't just coming from one side.
I was just going to say
It's not
something.
just Democrats.
Yeah.
Moskowitz mentions that he's heard from a bunch of Republicans who are saying the same thing.
Saying we're not getting anything done.
I don't even know why we're here. They're not doing anything.
Let's call
It's a bipartisan feeling
a universal feeling.
of just like, what is the point?
Right, and that's kind of scary that everyone's just like, why am I here?
It is. It's like they've lost their sense of purpose.
Yeah.
And then you look at some of the examples he gives
Yeah.
of this unproductive behavior.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Nancy Mace versus Jasmine Crockett,
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert screaming at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Right.
It's just constant conflict.
Is that just for show?
I don't know.
Like, is
It's hard to say.
that like a real disagreement, or is it just like for the camera?
I mean, maybe it's a bit of both.
It feels like.
But it definitely contributes to this image
That's
of a
nice.
Congress that's more focused on fighting
Yeah.
than governing.
And it seems like the people who actually want to get stuff done,
Yeah.
they're just stuck.
They're stuck in the middle of it,
Yeah.
like trying to build something
Yeah.
while everyone else is tearing things down.
It's like a demolition derby.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
Trying to build a house in a demolition derby.
good luck with that.
Not going to happen.
And it leads to this idea that Moskowitz talks about,
Yeah.
which is the decline of statesmanship.
Yeah.
Like he contrasts the current environment
Well,
with a time when,
Yeah.
you know, politicians would actually engage in like reasoned arguments
right.
and try to work together for the good of the country.
Like, regardless of party,
Right.
people are working together.
It was about the greater good.
Yeah.
Now it's just like
This food fight.
food
shit.
fight, constant opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he touches on some possible reasons for this shift.
He does.
Like, he mentions this idea of like an education dumbing down,
Yeah.
which
That's a broad statement.
that's a really big statement.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
It could be interpreted in many ways.
I'm not sure what he means by that, but I
Right.
think it's something worth thinking about.
It's worth exploring.
He also talks about how there's a disincentive
Yeah.
for successful professionals
Uh-huh.
to enter politics.
Yeah. Because why would you want to subject yourself
It
to
has to do with that.
all of that scrutiny
Yeah.
and negativity
Right.
if you're already successful in your field?
Exactly.
Why would you want to go into that mess?
Especially when it seems like a lot of the people who are there now
Yeah.
were nobodies before,
Right.
and they're just seeking fame.
Yeah. He mentions Matt Gaetz
Yeah.
as an example.
He says his goal was just to be famous.
Like a Joe Scarborough type situation.
Yeah,
Yeah. Going from politics to media.
exactly.
And it's a pretty cynical perspective.
It is.
But I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like for some people,
Yeah.
it's not about governing.
Right.
It's about themselves.
It's about personal gain.
Yeah. He even goes so far as to say
Yeah.
that they're all in it for themselves,
He does.
except for when it comes to insider trading.
Except for that.
Yeah. Which is a whole other
Yeah, that's a whole other issue.
can of worms.
But that's a pretty serious accusation.
Yeah, it is.
It's like he's saying they're putting their own interests
Above the country.
above the country,
Yeah.
above the people they're supposed to represent.
Above their constituents.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So you put it all together,
when you take all of this in,
right?
it's just this overwhelming sense of frustration,
Yeah.
both from the people in Congress
And the public.
and the public,
Yeah.
about the lack of productivity,
Yeah.
the dysfunction,
The drama.
the drama.
Yeah.
And Moskowitz is just putting it out there.
He's not holding back.
Unfiltered,
Yeah.
no punches pulled.
And it seems like a lot of people feel the same way.
It does resonate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
We've got this really candid picture
Right.
from Representative Moskowitz about what's going on in Congress.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just
A lot of infighting. They're not getting anything done.
not a lot of progress.
Historical lows in terms of the number of bills passed.
Yeah.
I mean, and it seems like they've shifted away from
have.
what he called statesmanship.
Yeah.
You know, actually working together for the good of the country.
Trying to find common ground
Yeah.
to this constant
Adversarial
just battling,
all the time.
and it's not productive.
It's
and
not.
it's definitely not what the people want.
No. So it leaves us with a lot of questions.
It does.
God.
Big questions.
Like, what are the long-term consequences going to be?
Yeah.
If this keeps up,
Right.
how is this going to affect our government?
Our ability to govern effectively, to
Yeah.
address the problems we're facing.
Yeah.
Like climate change, the economy, all these things.
All of it. Yeah.
Healthcare.
How is it going to affect public trust in our institutions?
I mean, if people don't believe in the system,
If people stop believing in democracy,
how can it function?
Right. It can't.
Right.
And so the big question is, what can we do about it?
What can we do to turn things around?
Yeah.
Is there a way to restore
Is there any hope?
some level of functionality to
Yeah.
get them back on track?
Yeah. I mean, these are big questions
They are.
that we all need to be thinking about.
And we need to be talking about them
Yeah.
and trying to find solutions.
Yeah. And hopefully
Yeah.
this deep dive into Representative Moskowitz's perspective
Yeah.
has given you some things to think about.
Some food for thought.
Yeah.
Some insights into what's really happening.
And we encourage you to keep exploring these issues
Yes.
and to form your own conclusions
Absolutely.
about how to move forward,
And what the future of our government should look like.
because it's important.
It is.
It affects all of us.
Yeah.
So,
So stay informed
yeah, stay informed, stay engaged,
and stay hopeful.
and hopefully we can figure this out together.
We can.
We have to,
We have to.
for the sake of our democracy.
Yeah.
For the sake of our country.
Yeah.
All right.